The bottom of my sea is calm. Who would guess that it hides strange and playful monsters? My depths are still, but they sparkle with swimming mysteries and laughter. Today, I saw a sublime person, a serious one, a penitent of the spirit. Oh, how my soul laughed at his ugliness. He stood there with his chest puffed up, like someone holding their breath, standing in silence. He was weighed down by harsh truths, the spoils of his hunting, and his clothes were torn. Many thorns clung to him, but I saw no rose. He hadn't yet learned how to laugh or appreciate beauty. This hunter had come back from the forest of knowledge, but he looked gloomy. He had fought with wild beasts, but the wild beasts still looked out from his serious face. An untamed wildness still remained. He stood there like a tiger, ready to pounce. But I don't care for these tense souls. I'm not drawn to people who are so caught up in themselves. You tell me, friends, that there's no disputing taste? But all of life is a dispute about taste. Taste is both weight and scale. It's what measures and what's measured. Woe to any living thing that tries to live without questioning what's weighty, what's balanced, and who decides. If this sublime person ever grows tired of his sublimity, only then will his beauty begin to show, and only then will I find him worth experiencing. Only when he turns away from himself will he be able to step out of his own shadow and into his own sun. He's been sitting in the shade for too long. His spirit has grown pale. He's been starving, waiting for something. There's still contempt in his eyes and disgust in his mouth. Yes, he's resting now, but he hasn't yet found peace in the sunlight. He should be like the ox. His happiness should be rooted in the earth, not in contempt for it. I'd like to see him as a white ox, snorting and lowing as he walks before the plow. And his lowing should praise all that is earthy. His face is still dark, his hand's shadow dances on it. His eyes are still clouded. His own actions cast a shadow on him. His deeds obscure who he is. He hasn't yet moved beyond what he's done. Sure, I admire his strength, like the shoulders of an ox, but now I want to see the eyes of an angel too. He still has to let go of his hero's will. He should aim to be more than just sublime, he should be exalted. He should rise up effortlessly, without will. He's tamed monsters and solved riddles, but he must also free those monsters and transform them into heavenly children. His knowledge hasn't yet learned to smile, to be free from jealousy. His overwhelming passion hasn't yet settled into calm beauty. His longing shouldn't end in exhaustion, but in beauty. Grace belongs to the generosity of the truly great. He should rest with his arm over his head, like a hero who's conquered his restlessness. But for the hero, beauty is the hardest thing of all. The passionate can't reach it. A little more or a little less, that's a lot when it comes to beauty. It's everything. To stand with relaxed muscles, without straining your will, that's the hardest thing for all of you sublime ones. When power becomes gracious and descends into the visible, that's what I call beauty. And I expect no one to show beauty more than you, powerful one. Let your goodness be your final conquest. I credit all evil to you, so I desire goodness from you. I've often laughed at the weaklings who think they're good just because they're too crippled to do harm. You should strive to be like the pillar. It grows more beautiful and graceful the higher it rises, but inside it becomes harder and more supportive. Yes, you sublime one day you will be beautiful, and you'll see your beauty reflected in a mirror. Then your soul will tremble with divine desires, and even in your vanity, there will be something worthy of worship. For this is the secret of the soul. When the hero leaves it, only then does the superhero appear in dreams. Thus spoke Zarathustra.